It's our opinion.
Welcome, welcome to Full Spin Radio Warm Edition. Nate, you need more responsibilities. Just let me know, brother.
And I think it's gonna send you laughing right into the episode.
Yeah, we don't want to keep doing that though, because I couldn't make it through the last one. The last one of the year, I think it was, right?
Yeah, that was a
Uh,
New
I
Year's
couldn't
one.
make it through that one. It was just laughing too hard. But anyways, welcome to Full Spin Ready. I am your host, Jim. With me here again, as usual, is my co-host.
Nate, hey, what's happening, Jim?
What's up, Nate? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, just loving it, man. Just having a good time again.
Still getting used to this new formatting, so I figured I'd do that again since they can't hear me.
Yeah, you're right, right. Well, yeah,
But you could.
it's been it's been a learning process, but I think it'll work out in the end. So we're all good.
Can you even understand what I'm saying when I do that?
Yeah. Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you know what the words are, but you can understand it too. I think
Oh, I can hear
sometimes
you.
you don't
Yeah.
even know what they're saying. You know, blah, blah, blah.
No, no. Well, maybe yeah, maybe because I do know the words. I don't know, but
Yeah,
either way, maybe we'll just get you to do a voiceover under it if you really want to be heard that bad. We'll
no,
do
not
that.
really. I like making you laugh.
All right. Well, to those out there watching and tuning in and listening, I guess we could be listening too because we're on podcast as well as video. This is our War Room episode, one of our favorites. It's what we do most often. One day we'll find more time and we'll get into more detailed stuff and maybe get onto daily stuff that is really exciting in the news, and we might even get serious stuff. I don't know. Who knows? But either way, this is our favorite one because we pull headlines. We get to talk about a whole bunch of stuff in the media. We talk about it from a veteran's perspective, whether we have or have not read the article. Chances are we haven't. But we understand you don't either because you got a life and things to do. So that's what we're doing here. And why is this important, Nate?
Because everything we say is facts, and we've been around the world, and we know it all.
Exactly. Don't fact check that
Yes.
either. So let's get started here. Ready with the first one?
Always ready.
Always ready. Here we go. Hunter Biden's China-linked company paid 49,910 in rent, identical to the amount Hunter Biden paid for Joe's house.
He only paid $49,000 for his house.
For rent per month.
So Hunter is renting Joe's house.
Yes, he's renting his father's house for $49,910 a month.
When would they get that amount from? Why not like 50,000 or 49.50? What 9
Because it's
10? That's
it's
weird.
the exact money that China was paying him. You can't make this stuff up, dude. You know the funny part is, it's not even like they're hiding it because they know it doesn't matter anymore. They don't have to hide anything.
Well, you're making assumptions because nowhere in this article, or I should say headline, does it say a month for rent. It just says paid identical amount.
Well, I happen to know a little more of the story than this headline, but yes, you're correct.
So you've looked into this.
But let me ask you a question. If I were to ask
You have
you,
more information by a
let me ask
article
you a
and not a headline.
question.
You are cheating. You can.
What does it mean? What does it mean when you says paid 49,900 in rent? It doesn't say for the year. It doesn't say for the lifetime. What does that mean
Yeah.
to you then?
I mean, they paid what he paid for rent
Right. For
over
what?
any period of time, whatever period of time they're paying for.
So it would be total. You're saying it
So
assumes that it'd be total in rent.
my thing, no, it's insert assumption here.
Well, I don't care how you see it. I'm going to look at it per month because I heard that it was per month. If it isn't, then somebody out there will be like, "Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're such an idiot."
Yeah,
Whatever.
you're wrong. That's hearsay. You can't bring that in a court of law. It's hearsay. I
Right, right.
heard.
But I have to assume that paying the rent is going to be not hearsay. Like somebody has to physically write a check or do something, right, to pay rent, right?
Well, I'm saying you're paying that much in rent. How much does the house cost?
Yeah, you're missing the whole point of the article. But yes, I get it. He could have bought the house and said,
I
right,
know. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
yeah, I know. You make a good Biden lawyer. Maybe you should go look in his garage for some more documents.
Oh, it'd be even better if it was Hunter Biden's Ukraine-linked company. That'd be even better headline.
Well, that would probably be over $100 million in rent. Yeah, because they're
Yeah,
making a whole lot more than China's giving them off of Ukraine.
I got to find a China Link company to pay my rent too.
right?
Well,
Just
my mortgage and whatever.
right? Isn't that crazy? I just, you know what I mean? Like, and I heard a story. It's not in the headlines. It's not going to be in the headlines. But I heard a story recently that Hunter Biden is actually going to court to stop his illegitimate son from using his last name. What kind
Why?
of level of narcissism is that?
You don't want your own kid having your name because you're a piece of crap.
Well, I mean, good for the kid. I mean, it'd be
Ma-
smart if the mom did not use his last name. But I mean, how crazy is
Well,
that?
isn't his illegitimate? Oh wait, that was a stripper. That was with a stripper, right?
I don't know what it was.
Wasn't he banging his brother's wife?
Yeah, that was one, right?
So
And
he
then,
not? Well, didn't she already have the last name Biden?
right? I'm sure he was doing a lot of stuff. It wasn't his niece or something too. He was messing with, or something like that. Some crazy. I don't know, dude. The man's a sick man. The whole
that
family's sick.
that was
I
just by
don't.
marriage. You don't count.
You're right. I just don't know how this family's made it through all this. Like, you know, I grew up in Jersey, man. The crime, the mafia, all that stuff. Yeah, you can't touch that stuff. I mean, it's very hard to break into that circle or touch that, even from a law enforcement perspective. How has this bumbling idiot got this such a corrupt family managed to hold all this?
Because
This,
politics is just like the mafia.
yeah, but I mean, you've got to be really special, right? Why would they protect this man? To me, he'd be a liability because he's an idiot. His son's an idiot. To me, if I were a politician, his son would be a liability, hence the laptop. You know what I mean? So if I was going to Epstein's Island and his son just got pictures of me at the Epstein and put it on his laptop, dude, how would you? I mean, I don't understand. Even in the lowest levels of the mafia, I wouldn't have this guy anywhere around me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So how did Joe Biden get protected through all this and Hunter even exist in this space? I mean, that's crazy. He must have something. There's got to be something.
I don't. Yeah. And nothing's happened. Nothing has happened.
Right. Nothing will happen.
No.
It'll be like one of those things. Oh, you can just retire now, so we don't have to charge you. You know, or they'll wait till he's dead, and then oh, let's charge him. Charge him what? You know what I mean? Like, and I look at that too. I saw who was that? That hideous Hillary lady. I saw her in a video or something with Bill Clinton behind him, like this. You know, his gray looking old, like didn't even know where he was. You know, and I'm just sitting there like, these people already lived a good life. There's no redemption for the things they did. I mean, only unless you believe in the Lord God our Savior. But here on earth, there's no redemption. Even if you were to lock these people up and put them in jail, they've lived a good life off your dollar. I mean, they've already lived it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You know, so at the end of the day, what are they going to be punished with? How do you punish these people?
Yeah. Jail. Well, if you would go to jail, you might end up hung. So you never know.
Well, no, I mean, well, for them, right? No, they're pulling the switch on that, right? But I think maybe the only punishment would be to force them to live in a guest house at Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence or something. You know what I mean? You know, like or put them in front of a TV with Trump speeches or rallies playing over and over. Like, I don't know how these people would ever pay for the crimes they've done or alleged crimes they've done. You know, so thank God I believe in God because yeah, that's the only way I could even justify that. Yeah, they'll get their pay. I mean, it's just whatever it is, man. I don't know. I'm done talking to these people. Let's move to the next one. This is going to be less exciting, I think. Pay per mile, states move toward user-based road tax. What do you think about that?
I saw that one. I forget how they're gonna do. Like, I guess every time you register your vehicle at DMV over the year, you get to report your mileage on your vehicle. They're gonna start charging you.
Right.
Don't they already do that at the gas pump?
Hmm.
Isn't
I
there
don't know.
already?
There's
d-
a fee for gas, right? State charges, federal taxes.
Yeah, isn't there a highway tax on maybe it's just certain states, but they tax your
Well,
gas already, so you're already charging for me to use the roads.
well, if you're talking about another tax, that's not surprising, right? Of
Oh
course,
no.
we're going to see more taxes, and they'll tax anything, or they already tax the tax dollars that we make, and then we spend on something to tax it again, to tax the person who made it. Like our single dollar is taxed already 4 times, right? So they already do that. But the thing here that I like is the move toward the user based road tax, because this is a discussion. I don't know if you've ever had this conversation or been involved in these. you pay your property tax. In New Jersey, it was huge. New Jersey's property taxes were pretty high. They're still, I think, probably
Oh yeah, they're
one of the
ridiculous.
highest in the country. But most of it, I think over 40% of it, if I'm not mistaken, went to the schools. And the schools still suck, but you know what I mean? But 40% of it went to the schools. So you always ask yourself, so if I own a house, I have no children, why is it important that I spend 40% of my taxes on schools?
And my thing is, I own the house. I guess I don't own the land because I'm being taxed on the land I maintain. So if
Yeah.
you're taxing me on the land I maintain, come maintain my land.
Right, right. Well, I mean, like I said, we could talk all day about the excess of taxes.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to say, what's the fairness of somebody, like, for example, here, people that are going to pay for the roads are the people that use them. You know what I mean? The Amish, what are the Amish going to do?
They
They
don't
don't
pay
keep
taxes anyway,
mileage on
probably.
horses, right? We don't pay taxes on horse and carriage. So this is a good thing, I think. The people responsible for tearing up the road should pay the taxes for the road.
They're already
Now,
doing gases.
well, sure, sure. I mean, I don't think anybody should pay any more taxes. But if you're going to move to a way to tax people, for example, I think in North Carolina, you pay a lot of your taxes up front for the road when you register your vehicle. I don't know if it's a mileage based, but it's you pay that. When you register your vehicle, you pay taxes for the road. And
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's good. I think it's a good way to do it. Why make people who don't drive pay for the road?
Sure.
You know? So I think it's a good idea. I will see how it works out though, or if it's just an added tax like you're
Oh, it's
saying.
added. It's added.
Yeah. If it's an added tax, then they can go pound sand. One day we'll have to have another tea party.
And it's only gonna be for gas cars, not electric cars,
Right.
because
Right. Exactly. So anyway,
electric cars don't put wear and tear on the road.
no, right.
They're not heavier. They're not. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Whatever, man. Yeah, of course. But either way, we'll talk about something a little more exciting.
Yes.
Illinois Governor, I can't even say this guy's name, Pritzker, blasts sheriffs for refusing to enforce new gun control law. Pritzker sounds like a prick himself, so we could start right there.
Oh yeah. Guess the sheriffs. We're not gonna enforce your rule that overrules the Second Amendment. No, we're not doing it.
Right, right. Now, first of all, I don't know what these new gun laws are. If it's something that the feds just passed or whatever, up in the Congress and all that,
No,
then yeah,
Illinois,
it's probably
Illinois,
garbage.
Illinois is passing their own gun
Okay,
laws. And if you read the article,
I'm,
you would know.
right, right.
But I
Well,
didn't read the
good,
article.
good on the
But
sheriff.
I didn't read the article either. I just saw the sheriffs weren't backing them. So I'm like, good for them. So you can make all the
Right,
rules you want about guns. We're not going to enforce them. Just like you don't want to enforce rules for murderers and
illegal
rapists. And
immigrants.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, you don't want to enforce those. We're not going to enforce some either. Let's see how it works. Too complete this game.
So, so in all fairness, if I want to be completely neutral and equal, I don't think it's right. If they made a rule, you need to enforce it. You know what I mean? So, even though I support the guns and whatever Second Amendment, I think what needs to happen is they need to just push back on the legislation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that makes it right that you don't enforce it because just like you said, they don't enforce certain things. Well, they're not right for doing that either. But if they believe they're right, then this whole conversation is reversed. You know what I'm saying? So I think you do enforce it, but you still got to push back on it because it shouldn't be a law. But yeah, I kind of feel like this would be a double standard too, and I really don't like that.
Well, if you want me to enforce this law, we need to enforce every law on our books properly then. Because until then, I'll charge people with what I want to charge people with, just like you do.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean, in the end too, this sounds like it could be unconstitutional, but there's ways to fight that. You know what I mean? There's ways to fight that, and then there's even legal ways to do it. But just not to enforce something, I mean, I guess you could, right? You could subconsciously, but I wouldn't make a like for example, remember we had discretion. We could do a traffic stop. We didn't have to write tickets.
right.
You don't have to write a ticket. You pull somebody over. Hey, you broke the law. It's not that you're not enforcing it. You're using your discretion, saying, okay, we're not gonna do that. So if hey, oh, you got a weapon on you? Oh, well, you can't do that. But I'm gonna give you a warning. You know what I mean? Like there's ways around it legally
There you go. Yeah.
without saying we're not gonna enforce it.
Sure.
At the end of the day too, but you're also taking that you're taking that chance too that you some what if something happens and it comes
Well,
back to you, like remember we had the discretion to take drunk drivers home or whatever, let them go, and if that they took off and then kill somebody, that's on you.
yeah. Well, as soon as they enforce the gun rules in Chicago, then we can enforce the gun rules in the rest of Illinois.
Right, right. Well, I mean, and like the truth of it is like that. It's sort of reversed, like with the bail reform stuff. They let people out on bail that shouldn't be out, and then they
Yep.
go and commit crimes again. So we get mad at them for not enforcing, bail and that stuff. So it's the same. I think at the end of the day, it's a tough argument, tough place to be in. But it, I don't know. Like I just don't know. There has to be a way, like you said, the lottery tickets thing. But not everybody plays the lottery. But cell phones, everybody has a cell phone. There has to be a way of like America's Got Talent kind of vote. You know what I mean? Like where everybody can participate in what they believe. Because I cannot believe that the representation of Illinois is actually the representation of Illinois. You know what I mean?
The majority voted them in.
Well, but you say that, but even like, okay, look at the
Chicago,
election.
Chicago.
But what percentage of the people actually voted? I know we have to take out all the cheating and stuff, but what percentage of the people? Like, I could bring it down to a home level. I told you this. Like, the town I live in, I mean, I think 10% voted in the elections here. 10%.
Well, that's
If that,
that's
that's
that's the other 90%.
generous.
That's the other 90%'s problem.
Well, right. It's their problem, but they have to live by the laws.
Yes, as long
So
as
I
six
say the same
percent wrote it.
thing. But yet, my point of getting at is
Hey,
these
but
people think they're representing the town when they're really not representing 10% of the people.
no, the other people had the option to vote. They obviously they didn't care who represented them, so they voted by not voting.
Right, correct. But that doesn't mean the person that's in office is what their opinion is. It may be, but it doesn't mean that.
Doesn't mean
So
it,
you
but
can't say
they didn't vote to say otherwise. So
right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm whatever reason they didn't vote, that's whatever. But the point I'm getting is if everybody wanted, red cars instead of blue cars, but only 10 people voted and they all voted for the blue car people, you know what I mean? Like
now
then these people in office will think we're representing.
if they changed voting to county by county instead of by person, you'd have a lot more counties that are voting different than one city of Chicago.
Right.
But a lot less people live in those
Well,
counties than Chicago, so it's not as many people voting. But if you look take it by county, you'd have a whole different political makeup.
right. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
anyways, man,
I'm,
good on them and
I'm gonna
whatever.
nominate that for the next round of voting. You should vote by county. However your county votes, that's what counts. So if you have 50 counties in your state, that's your 50 votes. You have to get 50% or more. So you have to get 26 counties to win the state.
Right, right. Well, they probably lose that because most Republicans win the counties because they're all rural areas.
Well, then you got Delaware that has three counties, or
Mm.
Rhode Island. How many counties does Rhode Island have? Like one, maybe.
Rhode Island is a county, right? All right. Well, speaking of horrible places to live, San Fran's reparations committee proposes 5 million to each black longtime resident total debt forgiveness
Every black long-term resident gets $5 million.
and their debt forgiven.
I wonder how many. What's long time?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it used to be for slaves, right? Descendants of slaves or
And then
slaves themselves or whatever.
now,
Obviously, that's
now
how
it's
it
now
worked.
now it's just a long-time resident. Like,
Right.
what has this long-time resident not been given that they deserve $5 million and debt forgiveness?
And who's paying for that? See, this is the problem. This is what people don't understand.
The voters of San
California,
Francisco.
yeah, but you know how many times California's been broke? That's why COVID was good for places like California, because then they got federal funding.
And they still
They got
wasted the money.
yes, they waste. You know how many times California's wasted money on garbage, and these cities are the ones doing it. These cities are wasting all of California's money, and then they have this pandemic, and they're like, "We need more money because we can't do this," and then they get more money, and then they waste it again. Like even if this was something you believed in, like even if you believed in the people deserve reparations. And I think at some point we
And
may be able to make an argument, but where's
how
this
much?
money come from?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much money do they have laying around? 5 million to each.
Well,
Long
but
time.
also it goes back
Good
to what you said.
lord.
What's a long-time resident? Maybe there's only two of them left. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what do we know? I don't know.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
still.
or knowing the government, they might say, "Oh yeah, every long-time resident," and then they'd start going in and cleaning out people and evicting them and saying, "Oh, you're not a resident anymore." You know what I mean? Like leaving it to the government,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Right. Yeah.
surprise me.
Oh, and we have none. But it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, right. And that's it. Oh yeah, we paid all of them. How many did you pay? None, because we booted them all out.
Long time was 125 years, and ain't no one been here that long, so
Yeah,
we didn't pay
exactly, right.
anybody.
Oh, you mean there's a lady pushing 124? Hey, get on that. Get on that. You know what I mean? Like I just
Put her at her nursing home outside city limits.
exactly right. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy these things they do, but whatever, man. All right. Well, anyways, since we're gonna give 5 million to, longtime black residents, what about you think about this one? Military considering back pay for troops kicked out over vax mandate.
I'm all about it
What's the
because
difference?
there is no mandate, right? There is no mandate anymore.
But what's the difference between this and longtime blacks?
They were in the military for a long time. They were in for a short time, so they got kicked out. I don't know.
Mm. Well, I mean, this is the interesting part of the argument, right? Because I like to, the conflict resolution kind of format thing. You strip out all the things and just talk about facts. You just talk about facts. You don't blame people. You don't put all that added stuff in. So when you look at this, why would a veteran who was kicked out for vax be any different than, reparations for a black who lived there for a long time? I mean, I guess the premise of it is there's, yeah, if you don't put in descendants of slavery, I can't even argue this point. It's not even, yeah, I don't know. I can't argue this because
I think it
it's
should.
been a long
I
time
think it
resident.
should say military considering $5 million each back pay for
Mm,
troops kicked out.
right, right, right.
And what are they back paying to? Their ETS date?
I don't know.
And who's to say
But
they
I
weren't
mean,
going to
like,
re-enlist? You know?
what's the thing is you think that they were done wrong because of the vax mandate, right?
Sure.
So that's why I said you can almost argue that, slaves were done wrong, so they would deserve something. The difference to me is
Difference is those slaves aren't alive anymore.
right. That's what I was gonna say. The difference to me is this is in the moment. It's relevant because it's in the moment right now. Like it's hard to pay slaves when they've been gone. The retributions. It's hard to do that right now. You know what I mean? If you can legitimately find descendants of slaves, maybe give them something. Yeah, we could probably afford to give them something out of that to pay them back because, yeah, they were treated wrong. Not that it was my fault, not that my money should be used against them, but I can understand the argument. And we should also get Africa to pay that money back too.
Well,
So maybe,
we should also give reputations to every woman that wasn't allowed to vote before.
we can't. Well, we
You
got a
know,
whole episode about the voting though. You
because
can't do the voting. Can't do the voting. You know why?
why
I didn't
not?
really know all the history of the voting, but women didn't vote for a reason. It wasn't that
The
they
government didn't want
weren't
them to.
allowed to vote.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to
No,
vote.
no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
yeah, they
That
weren't allowed to
well,
vote.
but that may have been their motive interior. But it was some sort of compensation if they wanted to. I don't remember what it is, pay taxes or join the military. It's one of those things. They had some ultimatum. You either do this and you get the right to vote, or you don't.
So that spoke for every woman in the whole country.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
Well,
let's pay
well,
them too. Let's
but but back then, dude, women didn't want to vote. They didn't want to be involved in that.
and right now we should pay reputations, whatever that word
Rich,
is.
rich,
Yeah, to like every person that can't smoke cigarettes now until they're 21 now, because a lot of states are changing 21. So we need to pay them for not being able to smoke now until they're 21. That's not fair to them.
Yeah,
I mean, come on,
yeah.
that's
I think at the end of the day, yeah, you're right. Target the unfairness. Go after that. Cut the nonsense with the reparation. And if you got a legitimate thing, take it to court. That's what court is for, right? If you felt you've been wronged, you take it to court, you prove your case, and then settlement. That's what the whole court system's about, right?
yeah. Our court system's crooked anyway. But anyways,
Yeah. Well,
just
yeah.
like
All
this
right.
episode's gone.
Yeah, we're crooked in the episode too. So either way, we're gonna go pull the plug here and pull the plug. I remember when
Pull a
Mike
pin.
would say that. Mike would say, "Oh, pull the plug." I'm like, "What, dude?"
Ooh, ooh.
but it's easy to say. We're going to pull the pin here on this episode, and we'll be back for another one shortly. So until then, Godspeed.
And pull a pen ready. Boom.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.